Oh, here he comes. Gideon!
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Great.
Hello.
If you were about to, like, in the middle of something, I think you should finish it, and then we get to the questions.
No, I think we
Guillaume.
just have finished, but there was a really good question. The question was, how did you guys get involved in the OSS at the first place? And maybe we should ask the same question to Gideon too.
Oh, okay. So basically, I was trying to integrate Vue on Meteor at that time. And I was
Really?
like, and that's where I like created a repository on GitHub and pushed some code to, integrate Meteor on Vue, and then I pushed them to also the Meteor at the Meteor package registry before NPM, which was called Atmosphere.js. And I also pushed those Meteor packages there. And that's where I started doing some open source work.
Wow, I didn't know you were a Meteor guy. Cool.
Yeah, they were so ahead of their time. Like they already had a package registry before NPM. They got build tools. They got a lot of things. So yeah, that was really interesting from what the world is.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the last question. So I guess you can move to the question part.
Yeah. First in the chat, if there are any questions about Guillaume's talk about the Devtools and custom plugins for Devtools, please tell them and I will bring them up with him. In the meanwhile, I have one question. You said the documentation isn't ready yet, or that it's not that well documented yet. When can we expect a complete?
Isn't ready yet, yeah.
When can we expect more or less a complete documentation for this?
Well, very soon, because I'm not gonna release the stable version without this documentation, so you can expect it to be like a first version, be released version of
okay, nice.
documentation.
Nice. This your talk is also serving well as documentation. You just follow the code along, and damn, you have all the things there. Oh yes, another question. Yeah, you were adding tags to the custom inspector. Is there a way to filter for tags?
So in a customer inspector, basically I have access to what the user types in the search input above your node tree. So basically you can use this, it's the payload.filter string, and you can use it whatever you like to filter, use it for filtering, for example. So you could implement your own logic and filter on the tags, filter on the the labels, or whatever you want.
Okay, nice. Yeah, because like if you have an extensive plugin, you will probably need something like that. But yeah, I didn't think about the search.
So I think basically Eduardo is using it in Vue Server. It is like adding a customer inspector to display all the routes you have registered in your application, and then it is using the filter to both filter the route list and also display some information about ranking, so that you can copy and paste a URL from your application, and then it's gonna put tags in the tree, tell you, oh, this route got matched, and then you have the priority, and so that you can debug how a path is corresponding to your routes. So you can imagine using this filter property to implement whatever you want, really.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it. Are there any more questions? Oh, here. Is there a way to know where a vuex mutation or action call happened in the component? I mean, which component is calling the mutation or actions?
Yeah.
So basically, Vuex is gonna have its own Devtools plugin in a while, like Vuex, and we can totally push any data we want to each timeline event. So, for example, we could push like the commit type of your mutation, and then we can also push what component like committed mutation, just like we already do it for event coming from your components, custom events. So basically, basically what you see in the timeline right now is using the exact same API you can use to push events to the timeline. So,
Nice.
so yeah, we do it already for custom events from Korea.
Yeah, actually, this is a good question, and I've been trying out this feature in Vuex 5 to track where did this action has been called inside the Vue component, right? So it could be really nice if we could get like stack trace for the call and display it on the DevTools. But getting stack trace is quite hard in JavaScript because it's browser dependent. So Chrome, Safari, and Firefox, everybody has different stack frames. So I don't think we can rely on stack trace, right? But there should be some way to do it. So I really want to do this feature. Yeah.
But anyway, I think for like Vuex4, we can like just display, the component committing the mutation, for example.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It's already good that Kia stayed on. It's just the right function.
Yeah.
All right. Are there any like best practices we should follow for using the inspector or the custom inspector, or can we just go nuts with it?
I think this is like a pretty new thing in like DevTools. I don't really know a lot of DevTools kind of things, so we are kind of like in a like exploration phase. So I'm not sure I'm not sure I can pretend to already have best practices for that. So maybe we can like experiment around this API and find if there are like best practices. But basically you can go nuts with it, and then if you have some feedback, you can totally like then send them back in the Vue DevTools repository.
Yes, I will definitely play with this. This is, as I wrote in the chat, like so many developers, we now just develop their custom DevTool plugin instead of doing their own tasks.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's awesome for the developers, not so awesome for the product management. But for developers, it's also nice. Always nice to have something like this. Is really cool. Like you can, if you develop it right, you can develop something that really helps your team track down issues. If you have like many,
that's the idea.
Like it's so extensible, right? So extensible and so. You can do everything with it, which is really great. It's not really as far as I saw from your demo, it's not really restrictive to anything. You can do everything with it, which is nice.
And the nice thing about it is that you can also use it in your final Vue application. So you don't have to do this like in a Vue plugin. You can also use the Vue DevTools API package in your own application and like, do some custom debugging experiences for your developers. So it's opening a lot of possibilities and potential.
Yeah, you also mentioned in the chat earlier that the backend is interchangeable, or well, not interchangeable, but easily extendable, so that in theory you could also write one for React or for Svelte or whatever. Can you tell us more about that?
Yep. Maybe do you want me to share a little bit of my screen?
Yeah, sure.
No, I have a dark theme. So basically, if you take a look at the Devtools, so that's the work in progress documentation here. If you take a look at the Devtools code, previously we had only one single backend folder here. So that's actually like the old code, still there for like convenience for me when while I'm working on the new version. But this folder is gonna like go away very soon. And this was basically doing a lot of things around like everything related to your page. So this is basically injected into your page and then interacting with your application and sending messages to the DevTools.
Okay.
And you have a lot of things like which version of Vue we're using, like we had some, for example, we had like conditions everywhere to handle differences between Vue1
Okay.
or Vue2, basically. And the new architecture is like using multiple folders here. So you have you have an API, a backend API here. You have the core backend logic here, and then you have different backends for different versions of Vue here.
Nice.
And we can, for example, take a look at the Vue 3, which is the one currently implemented. And we can see here that we are basically kind of like digging into the DevTools. So it's quite similar to what you can do with the public DevTools API. It's a little bit different, but basically has the same ideas. And we can see that we are describing that we are registering a version 3 backend, a backend for Vue 3 basically, with some available features, and then we can hook into DevTools like inner processes, and we can provide information depending on the framework version. So for example, you have very simple things like how to get the name of the application, and it's gonna like implement it for Vue 3 here. And so that we can use a different code for Vue 2 and Vue 1 just to get, the application name. And you also have like the component name, how to get the component name out of the Vue loader for Vue 3, how to get component bounds, draw the rectangle when you hover the component in the component inspector, how to get the corresponding HTML element, how to, do things basically with Vue 3. And then the rest of the DevTools like abstract logic around those. And then we can implement this for Vue 2 and everything's going to work. And we can do the same with Vue 1. And basically, this is an API. So if I keep this API stable, which I try to do, basically, I don't have to like go back to this code for Vue 2 and Vue 1 like in those folders here later. And everything's going to keep working like indefinitely, basically.
Nice. Wow, this was a nice architectural redesign. So more flexible.
For example, I'm just like quickly going to like the core, which is very, very different from like the previous version where we were like directly scanning here for components and then flushing it to send the whole component tree to the DevTools. Here is it's a very different because we're basically letting backend implementation do all the hard work. And here it's like higher level, like abstract logic around debugging the applications. So for example, we can see that we have here we have an event coming from the front end. DevTools. So that's the part which is displayed in your DevTools panel. We can see that the front end is asking for a component tree, and we can like send the component tree data back to like the pane in your DevTools. And this is gonna basically do almost nothing because it's gonna like delegate the actual logic to, you know, visit the component tree and then gather the information to the backend implementation. So we can see here that we have this API backend API call here to walk the component tree, and this is gonna do something different depending on which backend you're using here, right? And then here we can see that we can have totally different backends. I think it's in where is their application here? And here we can see that there is some logic here to select which backend implementation you want to use depending on the Vue version in your application. So you can see here that I'm getting the the Vue version here, so either 1, 2, or 3, for example. And then I'm selecting between the available backends the correct implementation automatically. So then you can like have a Vue 2 version, and it's gonna automatically select the correct Vue 2 implementation.
Nice. Wow, this is impressive. This is very nice.
Maybe you can take a look at the package I was installing during the demo, which is this one here, the Devtools API package. And basically, this package is like 10 lines of code because it's mostly plugging into the like the Devtools on the page, and providing you with a lot of typings, basically. So like the entire logic of this package is here.
Oh, okay.
That's like
Nice.
10 lines of code.
Nice.
So basically, it's gonna push the plugin into the page, and then the DevTools can pick it up and then, you know, use it to do real things.
Nice.
And then you have a lot of time here, like a lot of it.
Oh, I will check out this project on GitHub.
Right. So all of this is like basically typing. So you don't have like a lot of code added to your library.
Nice.
You do.
Well, I like this a lot. Cool. I think I will also dig a little bit into the GitHub repo. Play around with it.
So you have a few legacy like folders here, like the old backend is here, and you have also the old front end. So you can also compare with what we were doing previously, basically. But the whole thing got written almost from scratch.
Nice. Cool.
So yeah, maybe when I release it as in the stable channels on Mozilla and Chrome Web Store, I'll take a look at the Edge one. I think I'm already in contact with some people at Microsoft to make sure that we can have the DevTools in Edge. But yeah, that's something I'm planning to look at when the DevTools is ready, because I have other things to take care of first. But yeah, that's on my radar.
Nice. And what happened to your project, gui.js, you presented last year? I didn't follow it too much, but I remember you talked about it. How is that project going?
Yeah, so basically I'm like following the Tory development right now, and they are like working very hard for the Tory beta, and that's when I'm gonna like revisit a few things we did for in gui.js using the alpha version, and then I'm gonna continue implementing new features.
Nice.
So they are like working very hard to have a beta version of Tory. So that's very, very exciting.
Cool. And what's next for you now? You're going to stabilize this and document it, or do you have other things?
Yeah.
Uh,
So basically, so the next things missing before release, like inside the DevTools, are finishing the Vue 1 and Vue 2 backend, and also I wanted to implement some sort of like options for the DevTools plugin, so that you can toggle them on or off. You can also you're gonna also be able to toggle like access to some parts of the API, just like, for example, like the Android permissions, so that you can say, for example, I don't want this plugin to, be able to, visit the component tree and add tags, because I just want to focus on something else. So you can like disable some part of the plugin. And then also I'm thinking about letting the plugin push some toggles, custom toggles, to like customize the plugin a little bit, and have like, for example, vuex say, maybe we can have like a custom toggle to enable or disable like the snapshotting of vuex, because maybe like in some cases it can be too resource intensive from some big applications, and maybe we can have some toggle to disable that. So that's a few things I'm gonna work on before
nice.
release.
Well, you still have a lot to do. I see.
I think for like Vue 1 and Vue 2 is gonna not take too much time, because basically I'm gonna like take what we had previously, like the same logics, and applying them to Vue 1 and Vue 2.
Nice. Any more questions from the chat? No, I think people are either still sleeping or on breakfast or on lunch, and also saw someone on dinner. Hey, Kia, welcome back.
Or installing the DevTools API package.
Oh, installing the package and checking it out. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe what do you think, Kia, about the API for Vue? How could you use it in Vuex?
I think it looks much cleaner than DevTool 1. I mean, not 1, but the previous DevTools. It's more flexible, and I don't see any big issue on integrating Vuex. It's whether I have to work on doing it. That's all.
Yeah, I can totally help you. But yeah, basically, like previously we had like hard-coded, logic, DevTools to handle Vuex. So I thought I wasn't gonna be very flexible on like maintainable with all those different Vue versions and Vuex versions. So that's why we should totally switch to using the public API instead. And we also like hard-coded Vue router as well. So
the plugin system is much flexible, and it's much easier to handle. As you said, the versioning is much easier. So
so I hope the talk was like
I like the talk. I'm going to, maybe not today because I'm beat, but maybe next week, checking out the your package, and I'm going to see what it's about. Play around with it a little bit.
Okay.
Wow, Vanessa Keaton in the chat says that she's been on it for 22 hours. So Vanessa, you haven't been sleeping? Vanessa.
Wow.
Following all the talks.
I've been sleeping.
She had a nap. I've also been sleeping. She had a nap. Wow. But nice going, Vanessa. We almost threw like 2 more hours hanging.
Yeah, you can't sleep now.
No.
You came this far. You have to go through.
Yeah. You have to go through. Yeah, the next one is Debbie. You can't miss Debbie's talk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Keep
And
it
then
up.
Philip and Maya, and then we are out. Oh no, with the gift tech snacks. And then at 12 we are out. Nice.
It was so nice talking to you guys, and hope to see you in,
Yeah, same.
I don't know where, but maybe vuex repository.
Yeah.
Bye. Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Bye.
Bye-bye.